Okay, hey, welcome back to Real Food Blog. I'm excited about this episode. We're making flatbread, Indian flatbread, and I modified the recipe just based upon doing it a couple times and based upon the way I like it. So let's get started with this and let's look at what we're working with here. Okay, so this is pretty exciting because this is what we use to make our falafel sandwiches, and the falafel sandwiches are vegetarian fried chickpeas. It doesn't sound very delicious, but they're tons of flavor, tons of texture. They're fried. That doesn't make them as healthy as they should be, but they're meatless. Okay, so that does. And anyway, and so we're going to use this pita bread recipe, okay, for making the falafel wraps, okay. And I'm not going to go through the whole process of making falafels, but I'm going to go through the process of making this dough. It's pretty easy. Once you get it down, then it's pretty easy, okay. So we've got a bowl here, okay, that we're going to put our ingredients in. And first of all, we got to have olive oil, okay. I'm using yogurt in this recipe. You can also check out this recipe on our blog. You can look under pita bread, Indian bread, or flatbread for sure. Anyway, and then you got some milk, whole milk, a package of active dry yeast, some sugar, some salt, okay. And I've got butter for griddling these, okay. Once you get these taken care of, they've risen, and stuff like that, and you rolled them out, then you want to griddle them, and what better to griddle them with a little bit of butter and a little bit of turmeric, okay? So that's just a trick. That's optional. You don't have to do that, okay? But I think it adds better texture and flavor, because I like to have the little, dark portions of, the like little bit of burnt, not burnt, but you know what I mean, right? Griddled, right? I like that flavor, okay, in the bread. So let's get started with this. Again, you can check out this recipe on the blog. And so one of the first things you want to do is you want to get the yeast going, okay? Because the yeast is going to take a couple minutes to activate, okay? And so typically, what I do is I like to have the yeast heated up between 110 to 115 degrees, okay? And that, I think, helps get the dough started, okay? The yeast activated, okay? So I think I learned this recipe from, I'm not sure, but I think I learned it from Giada making her pizza, okay? And then I've just modified it with the yogurt, okay? And with the milk, okay? I like the milk in there. You could use water just as easily. So I'm just checking the temperature. Seems like it's at that right temp. Oh yeah, perfect. That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to add the yeast packet in there. And we're just going to put this in a warm place. I'm going to put it back in the microwave just on off. Okay, just let it chill in there for about 5 minutes. Okay? And then, when that's done chilling, I'll show you how to assemble the rest. So stay tuned on Real Food Blog. Okay, hey, welcome back to Real Food Blog. That yeast mixture that we have resting in the oven should be done. Okay, so we had it in there for just 5 minutes. Okay, and yeah, you can see. I want you to see that this yeast. See the bubbles? The yeast is activated. Okay, so it's alive. It's become alive. Okay, we like to say. So the yeast is ready to go. Okay, now one of the things I forgot to mention at the beginning was the flour. You got to have at least 2 cups of flour or more. Okay, and that's pretty important for the bread. Just FYI. Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna start with probably 2 1/4 cups. Okay, and then we always can add. You can't take away, but you always can add. Okay. So that's in there. Now we're going to start with our dry ingredients. Okay, so we're going to add the salt and the sugar. And again, these measurements, this recipe is on the Real Food blog already posted. I just posted it. So we've got the salt and sugar that's going in there. Okay. Then we're going to add the yeast mixture. Making sure to get all that out of there. You want that yeast, it's good stuff. Okay. Then we're going to put the yogurt in there. Okay, and then we're going to put the olive oil. Okay, simple. Reserving the butter and the turmeric for when we griddle these flatbread. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring it together with my trusty spatula. Uh-oh. We got code red. We got spatula down. Okay. So basically just bring this dough together now. Okay. And if you need to add more liquid, because remember I said you can add, you can't take away, then you can easily just add some more. Just add a little bit of water. And just work it until it comes together. It's going to form a ball. Okay. And then once it forms a ball, then all we're going to do is knead it. Okay, you can either knead it in a KitchenAid mixer or you can knead it by hand. I prefer doing it by hand just because I don't have to dirty my KitchenAid mixer. And then you get a feel for the dough, the consistency, and what it's going to feel like. And then you can pretty much do it anywhere you need to be. So if you're at a friend's house, or if you're up in a cabin, or on a condo and in Maui, hint, hint, then you can make this, okay? That's another thing I like about our ravioli dough, is I don't like to use the machines. I mean, you can use a ravioli mixer, you can use all that stuff, right? But, let me move this out of the way. But then I think that, you know, you don't have to have all the fancy gadgets, basically, to do it, okay? So basically, we're just going to roll this out a little bit of flour on the board. And it's the consistency of pizza dough is what it is, okay? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to let this rise in the oven. The oven's been on warm and I've turned it off. So we don't want it to be hot oven. You don't want it to be a cold oven, and we don't want it to put in any draft area, okay? It'll kill the yeast from rising, okay? It can, okay? Okay, so we got the dough together. Pretty simple, just a ball, okay? So now I need a bowl to put this in. So I've just got a Pyrex bowl here that I'm going to coat with a little bit of olive oil, okay? And then we're going to turn out the bread into it, the dough. It's going to be bread. Okay? And cover it. So now it's covered with olive oil. It's nice and covered. Delicious. Okay? So now we're going to cover this with a damp cloth. Okay? Towel or a paper towel. Okay? And we're going to let this rise now in the oven for about 45 minutes. Okay? Now, once that is done, then I will show you the next step right here on Real Food Blog. Okay, hey, welcome back to Real Food Blog. This dough has risen for the flatbread. Okay, so it went 45 minutes, and so now if you take a look at it, we can see that it's almost doubled in size, right? When it first starts, we're going to punch it down now at this point. Okay, put it on a floured cutting board. Okay, and then we want to divide it, okay, equally So to do that, all you do is take it, cut it in half. Okay, so now you got 2 halves. Okay, and then you cut that half in half. Okay, that half in half, and then you take it and you cut that half in half, and that half in half, that half in half, and that half in half. So now you've got 8 sections. Okay, now you can take it one step further and cut those. So now you have 16. Okay, so now we're going to roll these about, these are a little smaller than I would normally do. Okay, usually I like them to be about the size of a line. Okay, this is a key line. Okay, so basically we're going to take them and we're going to put them on a baking pan, and we are going to let these rise one more time, okay, covered, for about 30 minutes, and then we can roll them out, okay? Okay, now that I finished rolling these, the last one, I ended up getting 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 of these. So we're going to end up making 16 individual flatbreads. Check that out, okay? So that's what they look like. And now they're going to rise one more time for 30 minutes in the oven, and then we'll roll them out. We'll take it from there. Okay, so now that the dough has risen the second time, I'm going to show you what it looks like. You see that they've gotten bigger, right? I've taken the liberty of already starting to roll these out so I can show you the in process of this. So basically, what you do is you have your sealant on medium heat, okay? And then you take these, okay, now that they've risen the second time, and you put them on a floured surface, and we're going to roll them at about 5 or 6 inches in diameter, okay? And that will be about 1/8 of an inch in thickness. They're going to be pretty thin. The key here is keeping them working on a floured surface so that they don't stick to the rolling pin, but you really don't got to work them that much, okay? That's it. That's all I had to do to it, okay? And then I'm going to take some of this butter, olive oil, turmeric, and a little bit of garlic salt, just because I use unsalted butter, and put it down on the griddle, okay? And then when that one's going, you're just going to proceed to roll out the next one. Okay, you can make anywhere between 8 and 16 of these, you know, depending upon how many times you divide up the batch. But you can make them bigger. I like them a little smaller and a little more delicate, okay, just because. But if you can do it the first time, maybe roll them out in the into 8s, you know, instead of 16. So now that we got this one rolled out, okay, I'm gonna turn this next one, okay? I'm going to get this one turned, but I'm going to put some butter on the side, okay? And I'm going to turn it, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one as well, okay? And then just basically roll it out, okay? You don't have to have them perfect. Okay, but basically, like little pizzas. It's perfect. Okay, just like that. That's all you do to them. And then you flip these other ones. Okay, now check this out. Check out what happens. See what it starts bubbling up. It starts getting nice and brown. Okay, right now at this point the tortilla. The pita pocket, the flatbread, is pretty soft, warm, buttery, and delicious. So that's how you make them. That's all you do. You continue to roll those out, continue to griddle those, and that's how you make flatbread right here on Real Food Blog. So look us up on Real Food Blog on Facebook, also on YouTube under Ortega's Real Food, and on Periscope. Okay, see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy these as much as we do.